The underestimated species. The UES Defiant hung in the void, a metallic speck against the vast canvas of stars. To Captain Maya Chen, the vessel represented humanity's greatest achievement, a marvel of engineering that had propelled Earth into the interstellar community. To the Galactic Alliance, it was little more than a curiosity, a primitive construct from a species that had stumbled upon faster-than-light travel barely 2 decades ago. Maya stood on the bridge, her athletic frame reflected in the polished surfaces around her. Her dark eyes studied the holographic display, showing the sprawling Alliance station ahead. Lieutenant Reza Karim worked the communication station, his fingers dancing across the interface. "We're receiving docking clearance, Captain," he announced, "though they've assigned us to the auxiliary bay." Again. Maya nodded, unsurprised. Humanity was the newest member of the Galactic Alliance, a confederation of 16 spacefaring species spanning 2 spiral arms of the Milky Way. Despite Earth's technological leaps, the elder races viewed humans as children playing with technology they barely comprehended. "Standard procedure, Lieutenant," she replied. "Set approach vector and prepare for docking." As the Defiant glided toward the station, Maya observed the vessels of other species moving effortlessly through space. The crystalline ships of the Luminar shimmered like jewels against the darkness. The massive organic vessels of the Krith pulsed with bioluminescence, dwarfing everything in their vicinity. "Engineering reports all systems nominal," Karim said. "Though Commander Jackson is still complaining about the power restrictions," Maya smiled faintly. "Tell him to save his breath for the Alliance representatives. Perhaps he can convince them our reactor won't destabilize if we operate at full capacity." The Defiant completed its docking maneuver with precision, by human standards. Maya knew that most other species would consider it clumsy and inefficient. The ship's exterior, while impressive on Earth, lacked the seamless integration of Luminar craft or the living architecture of Krith vessels. "Docking complete," announced Iris, the ship's eye. "Station atmosphere compatible with human physiology. Security protocols engage." "Thank you, Iris," Maya replied. "Maintain minimal crew aboard and prepare for diplomatic protocols." As she organized her officers for disembarkation, an urgent alert sounded. Karim's expression tightened as his hands flew across his console. "Captain, we're receiving a distress call from New Horizon Colony in the Epsilon sector." "They're under attack." Maya frowned. Epsilon sector was technically neutral territory, but it bordered the unexplored regions beyond Alliance space. New Horizon was one of humanity's few extraterrestrial settlements, established to study stellar phenomena. "Put it on screen," she ordered. The view screen flickered to life, showing a colonial administrator, her face streaked with dirt and fear. Static interrupted the transmission repeatedly. Unknown vessels appeared without warning. Energy signatures unlike anything. Weapons activated. Civilians present. Request immediate assistance. The transmission died abruptly. "Distance to New Horizon?" Maya asked. 3 light years, Captain," replied the navigation officer. "Nearest Alliance vessel. At least 8 light years away, Captain." Maya made her decision instantly. Disengage docking clamps. Set course for New Horizon Colony at maximum speed. Karim hesitated. "Captain, Alliance protocols require clearance for—" "I'm aware of the protocols, Lieutenant," Maya interrupted, "but those are our people. Send notification to Alliance Command. But we're moving now." As the Defiant disengaged from the station, a flurry of messages from Alliance officials lit up the communications array. Maya ignored them all. "Iris, prepare the Prometheus drive." A hush fell over the bridge. "Captain," Karim said carefully, "the Prometheus drive hasn't been cleared for use outside Earth space. The Alliance specifically prohibited." "The Alliance isn't aware of its full capabilities," Maya replied, "and I'd prefer to keep it that way. For now, we're bending some rules, Lieutenant, for the greater good." She turned to address the entire bridge crew. "What I'm about to authorize is classified technology. Earth has been developing it in secret because we knew the Alliance would never permit its deployment. But right now, there are lives at stake. Maya's gaze swept over her officers, measuring their resolve. If anyone objects to this course of action, speak now. No one said a word. Iris, initiate Prometheus Protocol. Authorization. Chen Omega 47. Prometheus Protocol initiated. Iris responded, reconfiguring drive systems. The ship hummed with new energy as previously dormant systems activated. The Defiant's conventional engines shut down, and deep within the vessel, the experimental drive came online. It wasn't merely a propulsion system. It was a revolutionary approach to space-time manipulation, combining Einstein's theories with quantum mechanics. Prometheus drive online, Iris announced. Spatial fold ready. Execute, Maya commanded. The stars outside the viewscreen stretched and warped. There was no violent acceleration, no sensation of movement, just a subtle shift in reality as the Defiant created a controlled fold in spacetime, slipping through the fabric of the universe to emerge nearly instantaneously at its destination. The bridge crew stared in wonder as the Epsilon sector materialized before them. The journey that should have taken hours had occurred in seconds. Position us between the colony and the unknown vessels, Maya ordered. Tactical analysis. Now. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Okafor, the tactical officer, studied her readings with growing concern. 3 vessels, Captain. Configuration unknown. Energy signatures, off the charts. They're unlike anything in our database. On the view screen, 3 obsidian ships approached New Horizon Colony. They resembled massive arrowheads, their surfaces absorbing rather than reflecting light. Energy patterns rippled across their hulls like dark lightning. Open a channel, Maya commanded. No response, Captain, Karim reported. They're ignoring all standard frequencies. Without warning, one of the alien vessels fired on the colony. A beam of purple-black energy lanced from its prow, striking the colony's protective dome. The shield flickered and began to fail. Intercept that beam, Maya ordered. Defensive posture only. The Defiant moved into position, deploying its conventional shields. The alien beam struck the human vessel, and for a moment, the shields held, then collapsed entirely as energy cascaded through the ship's systems. Multiple failures across all decks, Okafor shouted over the blaring alarms. Shields inoperative. Weapons offline. Evasive maneuvers, Maya ordered as the alien vessels turned their attention to the Defiant. The ship veered wildly, barely avoiding another energy beam. Maya gripped her command chair as the vessel shuddered violently. Iris, status of the Aegis system. Aegis system is inactive but undamaged, the eye replied. Theoretical models suggest 74% effectiveness against the unknown energy signature. Maya made her decision. Evacuate sections B through F. Divert all power to the Aegis system. Captain, Okafor protested. Aegis has never been field-tested. It's still experimental. So was Prometheus, Maya countered. Sometimes theory has to meet reality sooner than we'd like. Execute my order. As crew members rushed to evacuate the designated sections, Maya opened a shipwide channel. All hands, this is the captain. We are facing an unknown adversary with technology far beyond Alliance standards. We cannot outrun them, and our conventional defenses are ineffective. She paused, watching as another beam struck the colony, further weakening its protections. But we are human. Adaptation isn't just our strength, it's our legacy. When faced with superior force, we don't surrender. We evolve. Maya nodded to her chief engineer. Commander Jackson, activate the Aegis system. Jackson's fingers flew across his console. Aegis coming online. Reconfiguring power matrix. Initiating in 3, 2, 1. A ripple of energy passed through the Defiant as the Aegis system activated. Unlike conventional shields that created energy barriers, Aegis generated a field of controlled quantum uncertainty, a region where probabilities became fluid and manipulable. The alien vessel fired again. The beam struck the Defiant. And then something unprecedented happened. The energy dissipated, scattered into countless potential outcomes, none of them harmful to the ship. Aegis functioning at 82% efficiency, IRIS reported, adjusting parameters based on enemy weapon signature. What about our offensive capabilities? Maya asked. Conventional weapons remain offline, Okafor reported. But what, Commander? The Cronus Protocol. It's untested, but theoretically, we could reverse engineer their weapon signature and... Do it, Maya ordered without hesitation. As the alien vessels moved to surround the Defiant, the human ship appeared defenseless, relying solely on the invisible protection of the Aegis system. Within the ship's core, however, the Cronus Protocol was analyzing, adapting, and evolving. Cronus ready, Okafor announced. But Captain, this goes beyond bending rules. If the Alliance discovers we've developed adaptive weapons technology, if we don't survive, it won't matter what the Alliance thinks, Maya replied. Target their propulsion systems only. We want them disabled, not destroyed. The Defiant fired. Beams of concentrated energy, modeled after the aliens' own weapons but refined through human ingenuity, struck the lead vessel with surgical precision. The alien ship shuddered, its propulsion systems failing. The remaining ships retaliated instantly. Their combined firepower hammered the Defiant, but the Aegis system adapted with each impact, growing more efficient at dispersing the energy. They're preparing another attack, Okafor warned. Aegis is holding, but power reserves are dropping. We can't maintain this indefinitely. Maya studied the tactical display, analyzing the pattern of the alien attacks. Unlike Alliance species that relied on established strategies, these entities seemed to operate on pure aggression, with little regard for their disabled companion. There's a pattern, she murmured. Iris, analyze attack sequences. Find the rhythm. Pattern identified. Iris responded after several tense moments. 89% probability of predictive accuracy. Use that to modulate Aegis, Maya ordered. Don't just react. Anticipate. The Defiant began to move in concert with the alien attacks, the Aegis system shifting its focus to where the next strike would land rather than responding after impact. Power consumption dropped dramatically as efficiency increased. Target their weapons arrays, Maya commanded. Precise strikes only. The human vessel fired again, this time disabling the weapons systems on both remaining alien ships. The Obsidian vessels hung in space, crippled but intact. Colony status? Maya asked. Dome integrity at 31%. Karim reported. But holding. They're reporting casualties but no fatalities. Maya nodded grimly. Begin preparations for evacuation of all colonists. We'll transport them to the nearest Alliance station. She turned to Okafor. And prepare boarding teams. I want to know what these things are and where they came from. As the Defiant began rescue operations, word of the encounter spread rapidly through subspace communications. A human vessel had appeared out of nowhere, faced unknown aggressors with devastating technology, and emerged victorious using systems that shouldn't exist. The ship that had been dismissed as primitive was suddenly the subject of intense speculation, and in some quarters, fear. Humanity's days of being underestimated were coming to an end. The revolution. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Alliance hummed with tension. Representatives from 16 species filled the amphitheater, their varied physiologies creating a tapestry of alien life. At the center stood Captain Maya Chen, her uniform pristine, her posture unyielding. Before her sat the Council's 7 permanent members, the eldest spacefaring races who had founded the Alliance millennia ago. High Counselor Ilara, a luminar whose crystalline form shimmered with internal light, spoke first. Captain Chen, she began, her voice melodious yet firm, you stand accused of deploying restricted technology, violating Alliance protocols, and potentially provoking a new threat. How do you respond? Maya met the counselor's faceted gaze steadily. I stand before you having saved 342 lives at New Horizon Colony. The technologies we deployed were defensive in nature and harmed no sentient beings. The technologies you deployed, interrupted Counselor Vrax, a Krith whose massive form dominated his section of the chamber, were not registered with the Alliance's Technology Oversight Committee. Earth has deliberately concealed its true capabilities, a serious breach of trust. Earth has protected its innovations while developing them responsibly, Maya replied. The Defiant systems disabled the unknown vessels without destruction when we could have annihilated them. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and translated chitters. Grand Arbiter Talon, a feathered Avari perched on a gravity-controlled platform, spread his wings to call for order. The issue before us, the Arbiter's synthesized voice echoed, is not merely one of technology but of deception. Humanity presented itself as a developing species while secretly harboring advanced capabilities. Maya stepped forward. With respect, Arbiter, humanity presented exactly what we are, a young species with great potential. The technologies we developed were born of necessity. When the Alliance restricted our engine outputs and weapons capabilities based on our status as newcomers, we were left vulnerable. We adapted, as humans always have. She activated a holographic display showing the Defiant's discoveries since the encounter with the unknown vessels. The ship had captured data proving the existence of a vast, previously unknown civilization beyond Alliance space, a civilization that called itself the Void Dominion. The beings we encountered were merely scouts, Maya explained. According to the data we retrieved, the Void Dominion has existed in isolation for millennia, developing technologies that operate on principles different from our own. They view all other life as resources to be harvested. The council members shifted uncomfortably as Maya displayed intercepted Dominion communications, revealing plans for expansion into Alliance territory. While the Alliance debated protocols and restrictions, Maya continued, humanity prepared for the possibility that we might face threats beyond our technological level. The Prometheus Drive, the Aegis system, the Cronus Protocol. These aren't weapons of aggression but tools of survival. High Counselor Ilara's crystalline form pulsed with skepticism. Even if we accept your justifications, Captain, the fact remains that Earth violated multiple provisions of the Alliance Charter. There must be consequences. Before Maya could respond, the chamber's emergency systems activated. A massive holographic projection appeared, showing Alliance border outposts under attack. Obsidian ships, hundreds of them, poured into Alliance space. The Void Dominion, Maya whispered. For several moments, chaos reigned in the council chamber as representatives demanded information and protections for their respective worlds. Grand Arbiter Talon finally restored order. The border fleet reports that conventional weapons are ineffective against the invaders, he announced grimly. Multiple outposts have already fallen. All eyes turned to Maya. Captain Chen, High Counselor Ilara said, her tone markedly different. It appears circumstances have changed. Your experience with these Void Dominion entities is now invaluable. Maya nodded solemnly. The Defiant stands ready to assist, but one ship alone cannot repel this invasion. What do you propose? Asked Counselor Vrax. Share our adaptive technology with the Alliance fleet, Maya replied without hesitation. The Aegis system can be modified for various vessel types. The Cronus Protocol can analyze and counter Dominion weapons. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the chamber. Humanity offering to share its most advanced technology was unprecedented. And in exchange, Counselor Ilara asked cautiously. Recognition of Earth as a full and equal member of the Alliance, Maya stated firmly. No more restrictions based on our age as a spacefaring species. No more technological supervision. We've earned our place among the stars. After a brief consultation, the Council agreed to Maya's terms. Within hours, the Defiant had transmitted the necessary specifications to Alliance engineering teams. Maya herself was appointed tactical advisor to the defense fleet, with the Defiant serving as the vanguard. As Alliance vessels were hastily retrofitted with human technology, the Void Dominion pressed deeper into Allied territory. Reports of devastation poured in from frontier worlds. The Obsidian ships proved relentless, their strange energies cutting through conventional defenses like scythes through grain. Aboard the Defiant, Maya studied the tactical display with growing concern. "They're not just attacking randomly," she observed. "There's a pattern to their movements." Lieutenant Commander Okafor nodded in agreement. "They're systematically eliminating communications nodes and defensive installations. It's a textbook invasion strategy." "But they're ignoring civilian targets," Lieutenant Karim added. "They could easily destroy the settlements on Nevos II, but they're bypassing them completely." Maya's eyes narrowed. "They're not here to conquer or destroy. They're methodically dismantling our ability to communicate and coordinate. This isn't an invasion. It's preparation for something bigger." She turned to her officers. "Iris, analyze Dominion fleet movements. What's their ultimate convergence point?" After several moments of computation, Iris responded, 96% probability that all Dominion vessels are converging toward the Helios gravitational nexus. Maya's blood ran cold. The Helios nexus was a natural phenomenon, a region where spatial conditions created a perfect junction point between multiple sectors of the galaxy. Alliance scientists had theorized it could potentially connect to other regions of space thousands of light years away. "They're not invading," she realized aloud. "They're establishing a beachhead for something much larger to come through." Maya immediately contacted the Alliance Command. Initially skeptical, the elder races soon recognized the validity of her analysis. A defensive strategy was quickly formulated. The newly upgraded Alliance vessels would confront the Dominion fleet at the Helios nexus, preventing them from establishing control of the strategic location. As the combined fleet assembled, Maya proposed a daring plan. While the main fleet engaged the Dominion ships, the Defiant would use its Prometheus drive to slip behind enemy lines and strike at what they had identified as the Dominion command vessel, a massive structure twice the size of the largest Alliance cruiser. "It's a suicide mission," Counselor Vrax protested during the final strategic briefing. "It's our best chance," Maya countered. "The Defiant has the most experience with both our adaptive technology and Dominion tactics. We can get close enough to disrupt their command structure while you prevent them from securing the nexus." After heated debate, the Council reluctantly approved her plan. As the Defiant prepared to depart, High Counselor Ilara requested a private audience with Maya. "You understand that you may not return from this mission," the crystalline being stated. Maya nodded. "Humanity understands sacrifice, Counselor. We've built our civilization on the shoulders of those willing to risk everything for a greater purpose." Ilara's form pulsed with an emotion Maya couldn't quite identify. "We have underestimated your species, Captain Chen. Regardless of the outcome today, know that you have earned my respect." The battle at the Helios nexus began with a ferocity unprecedented in Alliance history. Dominion vessels clashed with the upgraded Alliance fleet, their energy weapons still formidable, but no longer unstoppable. The Aegis systems installed on Alliance ships dispersed much of the destructive force, while Kronos-enhanced weapons pierced Dominion defenses. Meanwhile, the Defiant executed its daring maneuver. The Prometheus drive activated, folding space-time around the human vessel and depositing it directly behind the Dominion lines. Cloaked in a modified Aegis field that absorbed sensor scans rather than energy weapons, the ship approached the massive command structure undetected. "Scan complete," Iris announced. "I've identified a vulnerability in their central power distribution network. A precisely targeted strike could cascade through their entire system." "What about life signs?" Maya asked. "Minimal organic signatures," Iris replied. "The structure appears to be primarily automated." Maya made her decision. Prepare the Kronos protocol for maximum yield. Target the vulnerability. As the Defiant moved into position, its presence was finally detected. Dominion vessels broke from the main battle, racing to intercept the human ship. They'll reach us before we can get into optimal firing position, Okafor warned. Maya studied the tactical display, weighing her options. The Defiant could retreat now, using the Prometheus drive to escape safely. But the opportunity to strike at the Dominion command would be lost. Reroute all non-essential power to engines and Aegis, she ordered. We're going in closer. The Defiant surged forward, its enhanced engines pushing to dangerous levels. Dominion weapons fire rained around them, most dispersed by the Aegis system, but some impacting the hull directly. Damage reports flooded in from all decks. We've lost the starboard thruster array, Jackson reported from engineering. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Containment fields holding, but we can't take much more of this. Distance to target, Maya demanded. Approaching optimal range, Okafor replied. 15 seconds. 10. A massive energy surge from the command structure disrupted the Defiant's sensors temporarily. They're powering up something big, Karim warned. Energy readings off the scale. 5 seconds to range, Okafor continued. 4, 3. Fire everything we've got, Maya commanded. The Defiant unleashed its full arsenal, enhanced by the Kronos protocol. The precisely targeted strike hit the command structure's vulnerability exactly as calculated. For a moment, nothing happened. Then cascading failures rippled across the massive vessel. Energy surges erupted from multiple points, and the command nexus began to collapse inward. Throughout the battle zone, Dominion vessels suddenly faltered. Their coordinated attacks became disjointed and ineffective. The Alliance fleet, recognizing the opportunity, pressed forward with renewed vigor. The command structure is generating some kind of spatial distortion, Okafor reported urgently. It's collapsing into. I don't know what this is, Captain. Gravitational singularity forming, Iris announced. Recommendation. Immediate withdrawal. Estimated safe distance. Minimum 3 light minutes. Initiate Prometheus drive, Maya ordered. Get us out of here. The Defiant's systems, already strained beyond their limits, struggled to comply. The Prometheus drive activated, but the spatial fold was imperfect, destabilized by the growing singularity behind them. The ship shuddered violently as it tore through space-time, systems failing across all decks. For several terrifying moments, the Defiant existed in a state of quantum uncertainty, neither fully present in normal space nor completely elsewhere. Then, with a final surge of power, the human vessel emerged millions of kilometers from the battle zone, damaged but intact. Through fragmented sensor readings, they witnessed the Dominion command structure collapse entirely, creating a short-lived singularity that pulled in the nearest enemy vessels before dissipating. Without central coordination, the Dominion fleet scattered, pursued by Alliance vessels. The invasion had been repelled. 3 days later, Maya stood again before the Alliance Council. This time, however, she was not alone. Behind her stood representatives from Earth's government, ready to sign a new treaty, one that recognized humanity as a full and equal member of the Galactic Alliance. Your actions have saved countless lives across multiple worlds, High Counselor Ilara acknowledged. The technology you developed in secret has now become the foundation for our common defense. And yet, added Counselor Vrax, we must acknowledge our own failings. In our arrogance, we dismissed humanity as primitive and restricted your development. Had we embraced your potential rather than feared it, perhaps this crisis might have been averted entirely. Grand Ardor Talon spread his wings in formal recognition. From this day forward, humanity stands as equals among the stars. Your adaptive nature, your capacity for innovation under pressure, your willingness to sacrifice for others, these are traits the Alliance has long valued, but perhaps forgotten to nurture in ourselves. As the treaty was signed and celebrations began, Maya stepped away briefly to gaze out at the stars. Lieutenant Karim joined her. They're already calling you the defender of the Alliance, he said with a smile. How does it feel? Maya shook her head slightly. I didn't do it for titles or recognition, Riza. I did it because it needed to be done. That's precisely why they respect you now, he replied. Not because you showed them our technology was superior, but because you showed them our heart was. Beyond the window, Alliance vessels of various designs moved in formation with Earth ships, no longer segregated to auxiliary bays or secondary positions. Among them, the Defiant, repaired and upgraded, stood as a symbol of a new era. They had been mocked and underestimated, their ships dismissed as primitive, their potential overlooked. Now, they were feared, not as conquerors or threats, but as defenders and innovators whose adaptability had saved a civilization. Humanity had found its place among the stars not by dominating others, but by offering its greatest strength when needed most. The relentless human spirit that refused to accept impossibility, that found solutions where others saw only obstacles, and that valued life, all life, above power or protocol. They had been laughed at. Now they were respected, and the galaxy would never be the same.